Ooh, I am looking a little bit blurry. I don't know what I did, something with the camera settings, but it's okay. I think I'm gonna just take out my glasses because it's just adding more to the blur. Hello, Chai Monster. Welcome to this live. My name is Tanisha, and today I'm so excited that I'll be making some ginger chai with you right on the stovetop. It's going to be authentic. So, okay, just plug in my hot plate first. I hope you're able to hear me today. Yeah, this was a bit of a fail yesterday. Anyways, let's get started. I hope you are having an amazing Sunday and a great weekend wherever you are. So to get started, one of the things I love doing is just preheating the water in the kettle. It just makes the process a bit faster. I know I'm all about mindfulness with chai, taking your time with chai, all that good stuff, with any tea really, but I feel like, oopsies, sometimes when you have to make a lot of chai, using these little hacks can really help. So I've already preheated the water, so I put 1 cup and a splash of extra water just for some good luck. Now of course, it's not for good luck, it's because a lot of the water will evaporate, so you just want to, compensate for that. We will be using a lid to cover up the saucepan. Now, if we were using this water, if we were not using a lid, because some saucepans don't have that option, then obviously we'd add like half or a cup of water. So anyways, while that is reheating up again, because I did heat it in the kettle a while back, we just have to bring it to a gentle boil, or we just have to make sure that it heats up nicely. And since this is ginger chai, I'm going to add ginger to it. So for 1 cup of tea, this is approximately how much ginger I like using. It's just like a centimeter or so. Okay, never mind. So it's about a centimeter or so. Sorry, my computer setup is over there, so I'm just getting used to this whole live thing. So if you see me looking over there, don't mind me. So yeah, about 2 centimeters of ginger is what I'm going to use. Obviously, this again depends on your personal preference. There really are no rules with chai. I always say chai is a work of art. So it's of course a work of art as well, and there's some science behind it, but then more or less it's what you enjoy. Now, a really great way of getting the maximum benefits of the ginger into your tea is of course by using a mortar pestle like this and just crushing it nicely so there's a lot more surface area. But here's another little hack that I use on a daily basis, which makes my life way easier. I just use a little grater. So my saucepan is big enough that all of the ginger lands right into the water. It doesn't fall to the side. So I like using this more. I don't know why. Because it's more about the comfort zone thing. But of course, mortar pestle, if you're using other spices too, and you want to crush them all together, the mortar pestle would be a good way to do it. So you just want to make sure it's nicely grated. The idea is just to get the maximum surface area of the ginger so that you get all the flavors releasing into the water. Our water is near boiling, so it doesn't have to boil necessarily violently for you to put your spices in, but you do want to make sure that it's hot. So this has tiny bubbles. It's gonna boil any second now, so we'll just wait for that. Whoopsies. Now while we're waiting, let me know what tea have you had this weekend and what is your favorite type of tea. So I had ginger chai yesterday and today, but I also was doing an Amazon live earlier today. So I had a roasted Darjeeling it was a roasted Darjeeling oolong and an oolong chai, which was so interesting. So yeah, those are the chais I had. So our water is now boiling violently, if you know what I mean. It's boiling properly. So now we'll just let it boil for about like 45-ish seconds. Once again, you have the creative freedom to let it boil for like 30 seconds or even 2 minutes. But you just want to be careful, not careful, but you just want to make sure that you add water appropriately. So if you're going to be boiling for a longer time, if you want more ginger flavor, then you should add more water right from the get-go, because of course there's evaporation. So I've covered the lid completely because it's a pretty big saucepan with a little bit of water, but if I'm making like 2-3 cups, I always find that like the water just gushes out. So I always need to like leave a little bit of space there for proper evaporation so it doesn't just gush out. That's something else. Things that just come with experience as you make chai. But yeah, let me know what tea you've been having this weekend. I'd love to know. Ooh, that ginger aroma is really coming through. So that's honestly a really great way of judging if your spices have incorporated properly in your chai or not. Just smell it, you know. We have this beautiful gift of scent and other senses. Why not use it when it comes to chai? So now I'm gonna go ahead, since it's ready, I'm gonna add in my tea in there. So I'm not sure if you're able to see. It is little pellets of tea. Whoopsies. Okay, well, I'll just show it to you in my hand if possible. It's little pellets. It's not loose leaf tea. And that is actually called crushed tea or curls, CTCT. Oh, great. I just like dropped it all on the counter. Let me just toss it out. So these types of tea leaves were actually invented for Indians when the British people started marketing the tea beverage to the Indian market. So, and it handles milk really well. It's very full bodied. So I'm going to take about a teaspoon of that and just put it in my chai and put the lid on again. We don't want too much water loss in here. Close this. And we'll let that boil for another like minute or so. Once again, it depends on how strong you like your chai. Okay, see what I meant? Like you really need to like have some space here. Like basically not put your lid completely, just keep it a little uncovered so the water doesn't gush out. So yeah, crushed tea curl. There's like a really interesting story behind it. The British people wanted to market the tea to India because that's where they were growing, and they figured that Indian people were adding a lot of milk, a lot of spices, sugar, all of that stuff. So instead of just like pushing forward loose leaf tea, they started putting the loose leaf teas through an extra machine where it becomes like little dust, almost like little pellets. And because there's a lot more surface area of the tea leaves that's exposed to the water and the milk, it makes the tea full-bodied. It makes it great to add milk to it and spices to it, and that's how you get that nice thick consistency. Alright, so our next step is to add some milk. So now this is another place where the tea is a work of art. So some people don't like a lot of milk in their tea. Other people love a lot of milk. Of course, there's the middle ground as well. So my personal preference would be for like 1 cup of tea, 1 teaspoon of tea, I would add, now this is just for me, about like a little more than quarter, a little under half. I know, I'm so complicated, like that much milk. So it's not half a cup, but it's not a quarter either. It's like somewhere in the middle. So I know Arjun, my husband, he doesn't like a lot of milk. He literally just wants like a couple of teaspoons. And then there are other types of tea. It's called doodh patti, where it's milk tea, where you don't use any water. You literally just boil your tea leaves and spices in milk. So there's a whole range. Alright, so that is swelling nice and strong. I'm going to go ahead and add the milk in there. Ooh la la, I wish you could see that beautiful color in there. Now here's another little hack. I like using, I don't have a proper ladle, so I just use this measuring cup, so it's like a half cup, to aerate my tea out and, you know, get those beautiful bubbles. So this is what you do. You just like pick up your tea and drop it back in, and as the chai gets exposed to the oxygen molecules in the atmosphere, it gets those nice bubbles. It's like kind of like a froth. This is so calming though. Oh, it smells so good too. So after you've added the milk to your chai, make sure you do not leave it alone, because it'll start boiling and it can just gush out. I'm speaking from experience. This has happened many times. So what I like doing is once it starts boiling, I let it come to the top, to the rim almost. Then I just pick up my saucepan. The tea liquor settles down, then I put it back on the stove. And then I repeat that. So I call it the double boil. Basically, it's like, okay, the chai has boiled well, everything is mixed in well, it's come to the rim and settled, come to the rim and settled. And doing that about twice just really, you know, it's just like an unwritten rule of thumb. It's not really a law. So that's kind of a good ballpark of how much you want to boil it. So that's happened twice. I'm going to turn off my stove. Of course, the chai is still boiling a little bit, so this would be a good point to add your sugar or your sweetener. So, of course, you can add sugar. Today I'm going to be using erythritol, which is not erythritol. I'm going to be using monk fruit. That's what I've put in here. I think it's a really great sweetener, but you can go ahead and use whatever you want. I just like putting it in at this point personally, because I know many times people are I've heard that you shouldn't really overboil sugar. So I just feel like if I put it in at this point, you're not overboiling it, but you're also really just getting it in your chai, mixing it properly. And sometimes what I also do, when I'm not on camera, is when I'm pouring out the tea, I just put the monk fruit on the strainer, right? And then I pour the chai through it, and it obviously incorporates into the chai as it goes into the cup. And this, I think, is a really great way if you want to have, people have different preferences of how much sugar they like. So if someone wants 2 teaspoons, you can add 2 in here. If someone wants 1, you can add 1. If somebody doesn't want any sweetener, then you can just skip that. So it makes it really easy to incorporate. And then just adding it in here means you don't have to mix it with a spoon, right? So it's just another hack. Alright, so I think our chai is ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and pour it. So here's my cup, here's my strainer. I'm going to use my ladle, my makeshift ladle, and I'm just going to pour it through that. So just one moment. I apologize if you're not able to see. Okay, this is how I'm going to do it. It's so weird. My mom, she's able to pour out the chai without missing a single drop. Then here I am. I always, not always, but many times I'll just spill it out. Okay, I think we're gonna get it out. Oh, there you go. Perfection. Sweet. When I catch every drop of it. I'm just gonna go and put this in the sink right away. Wow, here is our chai. It's ready to go. Look at it. It's so thick, it's so frothy. The consistency is perfect. The color is gorgeous. Smells nice too. Oh man, I feel like this is the perfect cup of chai for a Sunday evening. I mean, it's obviously too hot for me to characterize it to you, but you just take my word for it. It is so good. You know, like that strong flavor of the black tea with ginger, and then that sweetness of monk fruit, and then that silkiness of the milk, because I think I added more milk than other people would. It's just like working so well for me, and it was so simple. It didn't take any time. It was such a fun process. For me, this is like a really important part of Sunday self-care. Just making a cup of chai and enjoying it. So I hope this inspires you to also make some ginger chai for yourself. And if you do, you can comment below and let me know that you made ginger chai and what tea you've been having today or this whole weekend. Thank you so much for joining me today. Until next time, it's a bye with a chai.